All right, today what we're gonna do is we're going to we're gonna start to solve log functions. The equations that you're gonna see tomorrow are more complicated, and you have to establish these properties before you can solve the equations that you're gonna see tomorrow. So, this is the first three questions are a review. If you were asked what to evaluate this is the log of 4 base 4 equals what? So what you're going to do is you're going to translate this into exponential form. What's the exponential equivalency to this problem?
4 to the x power.
4 to the x power is 4. Very good. So based on rewriting it, can you see clearer now what x would be?
1.
1. X would be 1. So if you had a 1 here, these are the same numbers. 4 equals 4. Okay? Now I'm going to tell you, anytime you have these two numbers are the same, think about it. If you had the log of 5 base 5, it would equal 1. If you had the log of 6 base 6, it will equal 1. Log of 7 base 7. Anytime these two numbers are identical, it's always going to be a 1. Okay? Next, number 2. I want you to rewrite this. So 8 to what power is equal to 1/8?
-1.
Yep, x is -1. So 8, we all know 8 to the -1 power is 1/8. And the last one, 2 to what power is 32? Yep, 2 to the 5th power is 32. Now, just want to review with you, there's 3 properties that you guys should be very familiar with at this point. If you were multiplying two exponential numbers like this, a to the m times a to the n, if bases are the same, you add the exponents, you know this. If you have a power to power, you multiply the powers. And if you're dividing, you guys know to subtract the exponents, right?
Yeah.
Those are all old. Okay, now I'm going to add on right now. There's 3 properties you need to know for logs. The first property deals with a product. If you have a product, here's a product, 2 times x times y. You can expand this problem by adding each of these products together. So in other words, you can expand this to be the log of 2 base 2 plus the log of x base 2 plus the log of y base 2. Now what do you notice I did? I kept all the bases to be a 2, and yeah, I just basically, yes, if you want to think of distributing, you separate them each with a plus sign. Now, they always want you to simplify. Look at these 3 terms. Do you know what one of them equals? I'll give you a hint. That equals 1. We just talked about it. When the base and the number are the same, that's equal to 1. So if you have a product, you're going to break them up by adding. Next rule is called the quotient rule. If you have a division problem, you subtract them. So here is a division problem. Here's a quotient. So what you would do is you would write the log. It's 2x minus log of y, and they're both base 2. So put a 2 here and here. Now, can you add on from what we just learned, though? I have a product here. Isn't 2 times x a product? So you could actually break this first term down into the log of 2 base 2 plus the log of x base 2. So this can be broken down into these two right here. Now, do you know what one of these equals? What's the log of 2 base 2 equal to? 1. So you could actually replace this for 1. Okay, that's your second property. Your third property deals with multiplication, but it's repeated multiplication. So what you have here is log of A times A times A. Do you agree that A times A times A is A to the third?
Yes.
Okay, so would you agree that this would be log of A plus log of A plus log of A? Do you agree with that? And isn't repeated addition multiplication? So couldn't I write that we have, how many of these log of A base B's do we have? We have 3 of them. Right? You have 3 of these. So this is called the power rule. When you have something raised to a power, all you have to do is pull the power in front. So it's 3, you pull that power in front, 3 times the log of A base B. So a power rule, all you do is bring the power in front. So far, okay? Now let's practice. Let's put into play these three rules and see if we can condense. Can you go the other way? How would you condense log of 8 base 3 plus the log of 2 base 3? It's a plus sign. In both of these bases, you want to make sure that they're both the same. You cannot combine them unless the bases are the same. If one was a 3 and one was a 2, you can't do this. So it's a plus sign, so what do you do with 8 and 2? You add them?
Multiply it?
You multiply them. 8 times 2, and it's base 3. So the answer is log of 16 base 3. Now, if you knew what this answer was, so in other words, if I could take this problem without a calculator and evaluate it, so in other words, 3 to what power is 16, I don't know what that is. I need a calculator to further simplify this answer. So hold on to this for a second, and I'm going to show you how to do that at the end. Okay, how do you do this one, the subtraction one?
Divide.
You divide, good. So whenever you see a subtraction, you divide. Okay, well what is 12 divided by 4?
3.
So this is the log of 3 base 3, and we just learned what that equals. What does it equal? 1. So if possible, go for it and simplify it. Okay, what about number 10? 10's got a couple of issues. We've got a power rule going on twice, and we've got the product rule. So what I would first do is look for a power. See this 3? You're going to back this up. This 3 is really r cubed. So this is really the log of r cubed base 2 plus the log of n to the what power? 5th base 2. So that was step 1. Get rid of the powers. Bring the powers back where they belong. And now, how do you condense this plus sign?
Multiply.
You multiply. So this would be the log
2.
of r cubed n to the 5th, all of it base 2. And a better answer would be log of n to the 5th, r cubed. What did I just do?
Alphabetical order.
Alphabetize, or the biggest power should go first. To do that, either way. They're both the same answer. All right, now, we're gonna go the other way. Now I wanna see if we can practice 3 of these and expand them and simplify. So we look at this number 11, it says the log of 36 times A times C, it's all base 6. How would I expand this? Log of 36 base 6 plus the log of A base 6 plus the log of C base 6. Any of these 3, do you know? Do you know what the log of 36 base 6 is?
2,
It's 2. How did you figure that out?
square root of 6.
Well, you're gonna write this, so if you look at this right here, log of 36 base 6 is equal to what? Well, 6 to the second power is 36. So this is a 2. So to figure out what they are, rewrite them. Rewrite them in exponential form. Number 12. What kind of a problem is this one?
Subtraction.
It's gonna be a subtraction because it's a quotient. How do you write this one out?
Log of x
Base 4 minus,
log of 64 base
do you know what one of these is equal to? 4 to what power is 64?
4. 4, 2.
Huh? It's 3. This is a 3. So if you have off to the side, log of 64 base 4 equals what? 4 to what power is 64? It's a 3. So this answer, the best answer is that. Yes,
When we take this test, are we able to use the expires or no?
on one part, yeah.
Okay.
One part, yeah, because you're gonna need them in a minute. Okay, last one.
Addition.
This is addition, but we've got a power also. We've got 3 times both of these. So this is what you start off with, 3, and it's times both of the log of 3 base 7 and the log of x base 7. So, do you see what I did? I put the 3 in front, but you've got a product here, so it's really 3 times both of these. So you could actually, you're allowed to distribute. So it's 3 times the log of 3 base 7 plus another 3 here times the log of x base 7. And there's nothing you can do with other than that, those 2 steps. Now, for the ones that you can do in your head, the ones you can calculate in your head, do so. Use your brain first before you whip out a calculator. But if you go back to question 8, I don't know on 8, I don't know what the log of 16 base 3 is. I don't know what 3 to what power is 16. So these are the ones we're going to use our calculators for. We use this, it's called, I'm going to show you 2 different ways. If you have an Inspire, if you're lucky enough to have an Inspire in front of you, we have one in class, but at home, you don't have one. Or maybe you do have one. But if you don't, you can use the ones in school. But at home, I'm going to show you how to use the other calculators too. So I don't want you to go away with not being able to do this stuff at home. So, how are you going to figure out what the log of 16 base 3 is? So you're going to type in your calculator exactly this. So how do you get the log button on your calculator? You hit Control Log. So everyone please do that, Control Log. It's the 10 to the x power. Now you have 2 boxes. The first box is going to be your base. Type in a 3, then arrow over and put a 16. And then just hit enter. And there's your answer. It's 2.523. Did anyone not get this? Now check the one down here. How do you do this one? you just type it in, 3, and then control log, and then type in base 7, and then 3. Just like that. Hit enter, and that's a decimal. That answers 1.69. Now, if you do not have an Inspire, how do you do this on a calculator, on this calculator, the 84? It's called the change of base formula. What you're gonna do, the change of base formula on the 83s or 84s, you're gonna type in log 16 divided by the log of the base. That's called the change of base formula. Log of 16 divided by log of 3. It's always the log of the big number divided by the log of the base. So watch this, I'll do it here if you don't have one in front of you. Log, log of 16 divided by log, I'm just hitting the log button, log 3, and that's the same answer. Now, if you have the cheapy calculators, the TI-80, 30IX, I think it's called, those ones over there in the little pockets, those ones, I believe you have to type in the number first and then the log. So you would type in on those, you would hit 16, then log, and then divide 3, then log. Those are backwards. So whichever calculator you're using, especially when the ACT test comes along, make sure you know what you're typing in, because you can't ask the proctors, how do you get the log button, or how do you type this in? They're not, they just can't help you. So whatever calculator you're gonna use on that test, get comfortable with that. That's the one you need to stick with. So now the next 2 questions are calculator questions. How do you figure out the log of 56 base 7? Well, you're gonna type it in your calculator. If you've got the Inspire, you just hit the 7 and then the 56. Tell me what you get for an answer. 2.069. It says round to the nearest 100. Would be 0.7. If you have this calculator, you're gonna type in log 56 divided by log 7, and you get the same answer. And for number 15, what do you think you do for that one? You're gonna type in just exactly what you see, 9 plus, control log, and then type a 3 in, and then a 29. Hit enter. And I got 12.07. And if you do this calculator, how I would do this one, I would first do the change of base. I would do the log of 29 divided by the log of 3. I would get that answer first, and then add 9 to that answer, and you get the same answer. Okay? 2-story problems. If you're into chemistry, log functions define many measurement scales in the sciences, including the pH, decibel, and Richter scale. The function y equals -1 times the log of x base 10 is used in chemistry to measure pH levels. The pH of a solution describes its acidity. Substances that are more acidic have a lower pH, while substances that are less acidic or basic have a higher pH. The pH of a substance is defined as pH, it's this formula right here, pH equals -1 times, and it's the log base 10 of H plus, where H plus is the hydrogen ion concentration of a solution in moles per liter. So, if I tell you that we have a can of soda, and the pH of it is 3, that means I have a 3 here. I want to know what is the H plus level for that can of soda. So what you're going to do, you're going to put a 3 right here. So you have 3 equals -1 times the log, it's base 10. And if you don't want to use the H plus, Just use H, or you can use an X, use whatever letter you want. But that's what you're finding. Oops. Now, I'm gonna rewrite this, so this is on the left side, -1 times the log. I'm gonna write it like that. Now see that -1? If you had an equation and you had -1 times something, how could you get rid of that -1? Yeah, and you can do that. You get to do that. So let's divide this by -1. Both sides, you get to do that. Those cross out. So you have the log of h plus, if you want to put the plus there, base 10 equals -3. Now, rewrite this in exponential form. How do you rewrite this in exponential form? 10 to the -3 power is h plus. Well, what is 10 to the -3 power equal to? There's an answer, or you can write it 1/1000. You get this? Okay, and the last question for the notes today. It says find the pH, so now we're gonna find pH for a solution that has an H plus equaling that. So now, here's your formula, pH. So there's your formula. This number now goes in that spot. Now, how do you do, what does 3 times 10 to the -2 power mean? What does this equal? You move the decimal 2 places over to the left, so 0.03, right? I want you to do this on your calculator and tell me what answer you get.
One point five.
1.5 228. That's your answer. Type it just like that in your calculator and you're done. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, your homework is this back side. I would suggest on 8 through 11, you do those right now, in case you don't finish, but you will. 8 through 9, oops, sorry, wrong way. 8 through 9, you need a calculator for.
8 through 9 on the back.
Okay, right. Something's wrong with me. Yeah, 8, 9, 10, and 11, you need a calculator. And you know what? I forgot to do 7. I just realized I missed one problem in notes. Let's make sure you do this one. I don't want to leave anything blank. How do you do this power rule right here? Bring this 2 in front. 2 times the log of 5 base 5. And what is the log of 5 base? What's this equal to right here? 1. The answer's 2. Sorry about that, guys. Okay? So the back is your homework.